U.S. Treasury sanctions Iranian intelligence officers. What this means for global relations. Breaking news. The U.S. Department of the Treasury has sanctioned multiple Iranian intelligence officers in connection with the disappearance and probable death of former FBI agent Robert Levinson. This move is a major escalation in U.S. Iran tensions, raising questions about diplomatic relations, potential economic consequences, and how Iran may respond. But what does this really mean for global markets, foreign policy, and national security? Let's break it all down. Who was Robert Levinson? And why is this significant? Robert Levinson was a former FBI agent who disappeared in Iran in 2007, while reportedly conducting an unauthorized mission for the CIA. For years, Iran denied involvement, but in 2020, U.S. officials concluded that Levinson had likely died in Iranian custody. Now, with new evidence, the U.S. government is directly blaming specific Iranian intelligence officers for his disappearance and cover-up. The U.S. Treasury has imposed strict sanctions on key Iranian intelligence operatives, blocking their assets and cutting them off from the global financial system. This is a clear message from Washington. Iran's actions have consequences, and the U.S. will hold those responsible accountable. But what impact will these sanctions have? What are these sanctions, and how do they work? Asset freezes. Any U.S.-based assets of the sanctioned individuals are immediately frozen, making it impossible for them to access their wealth. Business and banking restrictions. American businesses and financial institutions are banned from conducting any transactions with these individuals. International pressure. The U.S. is calling on its allies to impose similar sanctions, further isolating Iranian intelligence networks. These sanctions add to existing U.S. restrictions on Iran, which already include bans on oil exports, financial transactions, and military dealings. So what does this mean for the global economy and U.S.-Iran relations? How will this affect U.S.-Iran relations? Increased tensions. Iran has already condemned the sanctions, calling them politically motivated and warning of potential retaliation. Nuclear deal at risk. With ongoing talks over Iran's nuclear program, these sanctions could make negotiations even more difficult. Regional instability. Iran's proxies in the Middle East, including Hezbollah and militias in Iraq and Syria, could escalate conflicts in response. This means rising geopolitical risks for businesses, investors, and policymakers worldwide. But what does this mean for the economy? Economic and market impacts of these sanctions. Oil prices could spike. Iran is a major oil producer, and any escalation in tensions could disrupt global supply chains, leading to higher fuel prices. Sanctions on Iran's financial system. Iran's economy is already under heavy sanctions, and these new measures further limit its ability to engage in global trade. Stock market volatility. Increased tensions in the Middle East could cause market uncertainty, leading investors to move towards safe haven assets like gold and bonds. With global markets already facing inflation concerns, any further instability could make things worse. So, what happens next? What can we expect in the coming weeks? Iran may retaliate with cyber attacks, diplomatic pushback, or even military provocations in the Middle East. The U.S. and its allies could introduce more sanctions, increasing pressure on Iran's leadership. Diplomatic talks may stall, making it harder to reach agreements on issues like nuclear policy, regional security, and trade relations. The situation is evolving rapidly, and global markets and policymakers are watching closely. Final thoughts. What does this mean for you? Are these sanctions a necessary step for justice, or do they risk escalating tensions even further? Will oil prices surge, affecting gas prices and increasing inflation risks worldwide? We want to hear from you. Do you think these sanctions will be effective, or will they only make things worse? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should the US increase pressure on Iran or try diplomatic solutions instead? Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next big market update. Stay informed, stay ahead, and stay prepared for what's next.